Interviews are a two-way street. So while you're trying to figure out if the job is the right fit for you, a hiring manager is also making sure that you really want to work for them. After all, the average cost of hiring a new employee is $4,000. So they want to make sure you're going to stick around. So how do hiring managers identify the best person for the job? It's pretty simple. The interview question, so why do you want to work here? Did you know that 47% of hiring managers would reject applicants who couldn't answer this question? But don't let that statistic freak you out. Knowledge is power. In this video, we'll explore a 4-step process to make sure you know everything about the company.
Why hiring managers ask this question. Overall, there are 4 main reasons for a hiring manager to ask the question. They want to figure out if 1. You're a good fit for the company. 2. You did your research. 3. You quote-unquote get their company's mission. And 4. You would add value to their team. We understand that your immediate thought might be, well, because I want to pay my bills. As you can probably imagine, that's not exactly what the hiring manager is hoping to hear, which is why we've laid out exactly how you can answer this interview question and land the job. How to answer, why do you want to work here? Take it from us. You should never go into an interview not knowing what a company does or how it operates. As you're preparing for the interview, it's important to do your research. Otherwise, it will feel nearly impossible to wing it, especially if you don't have the appropriate background or context. So here are 4 steps to figure out how to answer the age-old question, why do you want to work here? 1. First things first, know everything about the company. And yes, we do mean everything. The more you know, the more prepared you'll feel going into the interview. Focus on key information, such as their mission statement, the product or service they sell, who their target audience is, their core values, and what their company culture is like. Your first step is to scour the company's website and take detailed notes while you do. You'll see why this is an important step later on. The About Us page usually houses a wealth of information that can be incorporated into your response, in addition to case studies, product information, and more. See if they have a company blog you can read. Usually, companies will also include their senior leadership team bios on their website, which can help you learn more about the types of leaders they hire and if they align with your values. Another great way to learn about the company is to look at the job description. We know you did this already when you were tailoring your resume, but it never hurts to look for more clues, like the qualifications, years of experience, skills, and check out the other job openings. Maybe you'll see some trends. Plus, if they have a careers page, they might provide even more information about themselves, like their perks, benefits, and pay close attention if they use any insider language to describe their teammates. For example, Hulu employees are referred to as hooligans. You can slip that language into your interview answer and really impress. 2. Sleuth their social media, press releases, news articles, and team members on LinkedIn. Typically, companies have a media or press page on their website where you can find a compilation of past press releases and news articles. You might be muttering to yourself, press releases, news. I'm not in media relations. How could those possibly help with my interview? Since press releases are distributed in the hopes of generating media coverage and brand awareness, they're a really useful way to find out what matters most to a company. Maybe the whole company was just volunteering somewhere, or community service is a big part of the founder's story. Maybe the company you're interviewing for issued a press release about a new product launch, or maybe they recently released one that focuses on their diversity and inclusion initiatives. Either way, it's a great way to tap into the pulse of the company and the kinds of products or services you might be working with if you land the job. Pro tip, take a look at the boilerplate of a press release, the paragraph at the end of the press release, because it serves as an elevator pitch for the company. Any important information the company wants the public to know will be found there, which can be helpful fodder for your interview. Of course, you can also peruse the company's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter pages, or TikTok if they have one. Their social media accounts are a good way for you to see how the company interacts with its customers and stakeholders, which is good to know heading into an interview. While perusing their social channels, you can also get a feel for the type of posts they like to share. For example, they may share more internal content like team retreats, or they may prefer to focus on their products and services. And while it's very likely that you found the job posting on LinkedIn, don't forget to use it as a research tool as well. LinkedIn can provide ample insight into the company, and more specifically, into the people who work for them. Here are a few important things to look out for. how long employees typically stay at the company, upward mobility, i.e. how many employees have been promoted while at the company, and employee posts and mentions about the company. 3. Once you've gathered information, write down what you admire about the company. When the hiring manager asks, "Why do you want to work here?" it's an excellent time to show off all the research you conducted prior to the interview. Remember when we suggested that you take detailed notes while scouring the website? This is where it really comes in handy. Maybe you were impressed with the thoroughness of the company's annual report displayed on the homepage. Or maybe there was a particular design element that you were drawn to, or a quote from the CEO that really resonated with you. By calling out what you admire, you're showing all the time you put into interview preparation. And it also allows the hiring manager to understand what's important to you as a potential candidate. 4. Prepare for any follow-up job interview questions after your response. So you gave a great response, but let's be honest. The job interview questions likely won't stop there. Be sure to anticipate follow-up questions such as, "You mentioned that you were impressed with our annual report. What in particular stood out to you? Thank you for bringing up our most recent press release. What were your thoughts on that product launch? What came up for you after reading the case study? If you had worked on X project, what might you have done differently?" Your responses will show that not only did you do your research, but that you're able to synthesize information and potentially find ways to add value in your role. Here are 4 different ways to answer the question, "Why do you want to work here?" Now that you know the steps to crafting a great response to "Why do you want to work here?" it's time to put it all together. Here are a few examples of how to respond to one of the most common interview questions. If you're applying for a job at a PR, communications, or ad agency, reference a case study on their website. Here's an example answer. If you're applying for a job at a major tech company, research their CEO and what you admire about them. Here's an example answer. If you're applying for a job in human resources, focus on the people. Here's an example answer. If you're applying for a job in finance, reference their client portfolio. Here's an example answer. Bottom line, this simple question is coming your way. This is a common job interview question for a good reason, so be prepared with a great answer. Remember that your interviewer is looking to hire someone that could come solve their problems, not someone who just needs a paycheck. Talk about your shared future and position yourself as not only the solution with your skill sets, but also as a natural addition to the team. In the end, you'll be the interviewee that the entire team knows is the perfect fit. Plus, you'll easily stand out among your competitors, the other candidates, who have generic answers prepped. Good luck.